A number of significant characters are die by the end of Squid Game Season 2. Some of these characters appear to have earned their fates, but others fall prey to the brutal mechanisms that power the games. Gi-hun and the others didn't know that only one of them would live to collect the guaranteed 45.6 billion won cash prize when they arrived at the game's location, even in Squid Game Season 1. But after the first round, they understood that the games were set up to take advantage of them, and that they would need to be physically strong, witty, and willing to compromise their morals in order to survive. In Squid Game Season 1, the number of dead increased with every subsequent game until Gi-hun was the only guilty survivor. Because of this, Gi-hun seizes the chance to save as many lives as possible when he returns to the games in Season 2. He is disappointed to learn that many participants die on and off the playing fields in spite of his best attempts to stop the games. Gi-hun enlists Mr. Kim, his former loan shark, to assist him in locating the salesman during the first arc of Squid Game Season 2. Mr. Kim and Cho Woo-seok, his right-hand man, eventually locate the enigmatic figure after 2 years of searching. They make the error of going straight up to him despite Gi-hun's warnings not to do so. The salesman ties them up in his house and forces them to play a perverse game that combines rock, paper, scissors, and Russian roulette. Mr. Kim purposefully gets disqualified to save Woo-seok, even though he ultimately finds himself in a position to win the game. He consequently loses the game and the salesman shoots him in the head. As a result of giving his life to save Woo-seok, Mr. Kim becomes the first character to pass away in Squid Game Season 2. At last, the salesman and Gi-hun meet in person, and the salesman tries to make things interesting by inviting Gi-hun to play Russian roulette with him. It is difficult to determine if the salesman is overconfident in his luck or if he has nothing to lose. The salesman appears certain that he will win the game, regardless of what motivates him. Before he and Gi-hun take turns pointing the muzzle at their heads and pulling the trigger, he inserts one round into his revolver and rotates the cylinder. Every time Gi-hun pulls the trigger, the gun clicks innocuously, suggesting that the luck that helped him win the games in Squid Game Season 1 is still with him. When Gi-hun survives every move and there is just one ammunition left in the gun, the salesman is cornered. Gong Yu's character in Squid Game accepts his fate and kills himself by shooting himself rather than fleeing or using the pistol to murder Gi-hun. Gi-hun takes charge of leading the group as he directs everyone to remain motionless as soon as the red light, green light game starts in Squid Game Season 2. Some, like Thanos and player 196, question his character, while others take him seriously. Because of this, player 196 moves and makes jokes about a bee sitting on her neck without comprehending what she has done. She becomes the first contender to die in the games when a sniper shoots her dead seconds after the doll senses her movement. The majority of the primary characters live until Squid Game's 6th episode in Season 2, although many players perish as the game goes on. As the heroes get it through one level after another in the mingle game from Episode 6, everything appears to be going smoothly for them. But as Hyunju leads the party to a door and Youngmei runs into someone and falls to the ground, the situation takes a dark turn. It is too late to save Youngmei by the time Hyunju discovers she has been abandoned. Player 333, Lee Myung-gi, enters the room and closes the door before Hyunju can respond. Youngmei is locked out as a result, and she and the other game losers are shot by the guards shortly after. Youngmei's death has a profound impact on Hyunju, who even holds Myung-gi accountable for her destiny. Other players, on the other hand, argue that Myung-gi was justified because they were unable to save Youngmei in time. Hyunju is confronted by Thanos and Nam-ju for leaving the game before having enough money to reimburse them after he switches teams and joins the competitors who want to stop. Other players who voted for the games to end are called out by Hyunju, who maintains his position. The argument swiftly gets out of hand and a full-scale conflict breaks out between those who supported the continuation of the games and those who did not. During his altercation, Hyunju takes a fork out of his pocket and stabs Thanos in the neck as he tries to strangle him. Thanos collapses to the ground and bleeds to death a few moments later. His death seems unexpected because Thanos becomes one of the main antagonists in Squid Game Season 2, despite the fact that he eventually becomes one of the most unlikable characters in the series. His untimely death proves that in the brutal world of Squid Game, a character's destiny is always unpredictable, regardless of how significant they may appear to be to the show's overall plot. In the first few rounds, player 380, Sei-mi, teams up with Thanos, Nam-ju, and Min-soo, because she thinks that working with less skilled players will give her an advantage and allow her to manipulate them. But when they abandon her during a game of mingle, she starts to drift away from the group. She also makes the decision to end things by voting in favor of ending the games in Squid Game's 6th episode of Season 2. Unfortunately, after the lights go out in Episode 6, Nam-ju targets her and tries to kill her. Min-soo throws a glass bottle at Nam-ju's head in an effort to save Si-mei. But the bottle misses, and Min-soo won't lower himself to confront Nam-ju personally in an attempt to save Si-mei. Thus, even though Si-mei tries to use the shattered glass bottle to attack Nam-ju, she is ultimately defeated and slain. Players 047 and 015 accompany the front man, Hwang In-ho, who claims he will find a way to attack the guards from behind, while Gi-hun and Jung-bae distract the guards surrounding the control room. He asks the players to take the lead when he and they finally have a chance to attack the guards. The front man effectively puts an end to the insurrection Gi-hun had launched by shooting them from behind before they can fire their weapons. He then pretends that he and players 047 and 015 were caught in the crossfire while speaking to Gi-hun via player 015's walkie-talkie. Kyung-seok and players 324 and 145 realize they are losing the battle when Da-ho and Hyun-ju fail to return with ammo. As the guards draw up on them, they eventually run out of ammunition. Player 324 takes matters into his own hands by shooting himself with his final bullet. Player 145 raises his arms in front of the guards in an attempt to surrender. However, they immediately kill him without hesitation. Kyung-seok only attends the games to win enough money to pay for his daughter's cancer treatment, in contrast to the majority of other players who are drowning in debt when they get there. He helps numerous individuals survive the mingle game and is consistently one of the most morally upright characters in the series because his intentions are always good. He even teams up with Gi-hun and the squad to defeat the guards and attack the people in charge of the games in the final arc of Squid Game Season 2. After the team kills a lot of guards and gets their weapons and ammunition, everything appears to be going smoothly for them. But when Da-ho disappears to acquire them more loaded magazines, their plan takes a turn for the worse. Ultimately, Kyung-seok and two other men are unable to continue their battle against the guards because they are out of ammunition. When the guards eventually encircle them, Kyung-seok pleads with them for pity by claiming that his daughter is ill, but they brutally shoot him to death, demonstrating how their steadfast devotion to the system has rendered them soulless. In the finale of Squid Game Season 2, Hwang In-ho, the front man, finally shows his true colors after feigning to be a player in the games throughout the season. He claims to be able to sneak up on Gi-hun and Jung-bae from behind in order to assist them in overpowering the guards surrounding the control room. To make sure he has no chance against the guards, he surreptitiously murders two of Gi-hun's allies when the occasion arises. Gi-hun and Jung-bae are forced to surrender when their ammunition runs out. After donning his mask, the front man moves closer to strike them one last time. The front man murders Jung-bae in order to make Gi-hun realize the repercussions of his behavior. In the last minutes of Squid Game Season 2, Gi-hun is left in utter despair as the games appear to take away his remaining humanity.